Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Nathaniel. You're waking up a bit late, don't you think?
Apologies, I had a late night last night.
The Lady Blackwell working you hard.
It's honest work. It's a long walk, at least.
It may sound a bit strange, Nathaniel, but I have to ask. On your long walks to the manor, have you seen anything out of the ordinary? Anything, like, strange? People that don't belong?
Well, the occasional traveler come into town, but you mostly deal with them, at least from what I know. But other than that, not much. Maybe the occasional livestock, but why do you ask, sir?
Nothing. Concerns about vagabonds and things of the sort.
Ah. I'll be making the trip again today. I will keep my eye open.
Well, make sure this trip does not take you too long. I have need for you today.
Of course. It depends on what the lady would like me to be doing, but I will try and be hasty.
Has the lady said anything about Blackwell?
What do you mean, sir?
About the town, son. Has she said anything about the town?
She's been asking.
I've heard almost nothing from her.
Well, she's been asking a lot of what's been going on and how things are being handled, and of course I've been sending the missives and reports that you asked for, but she doesn't give any definitive direction towards anything.
Of course.
She seems interested, but yet doesn't seem to want to take much action, I guess. I suppose she's leaving it to you.
Yes, well, I'm sure it's much easier for her to just allow it to be managed. Very well. Don't let me slow you down, Nathaniel. Hurry back when you're done.
You called for that meeting today, did you not? I figured I could at least sit in for that, and I have to wait for the tavern cook at least, so...
Good, then we'll do so.
Very good, sir.
People aren't going to like what I have to say.
Anything I should be privy about beforehand?
The same thing that I've been telling people is the problem the past few months. Stores remain empty. At this point, predictions, if it continues this way, Most of the town will be dead before the end of winter if they don't start taking it seriously.
Even with this harvesting season, sir. It's starting soon.
The harvest. I don't think you understand how much the fields have suffered.
It's not my area, of course.
Mr. Alcohol?
That might be Miss
Folks.
Mr. Clive, since they're the woodcutters.
Mr. Regent.
Good morning to you all.
Woodcutters should also be arriving soon.
Where is everyone else?
They're making their
On
way.
their way.
Aye. Still rubbing the sleep
They'd
from their
best hurry.
eyes.
True.
There's a lot of things that need to be spoken about, and a lot of things people aren't going to be happy about. Brother, do you know who the father is?
I did not see him in the church this morning. I assume he was still in his bed.
Then I would entrust you to convey everything that's spoken about here to him directly. Good. Hopefully your peers hurry up. We'll be right back when they decide to show up.
Regent. Sir.
Yes.
That might have been my doing. I apologize. Benjamin had made some really fresh bread and everyone had seen it on the way. Thought you'd like some as well.
You'll hear what I have to say shortly. I'd hold on to that if I were you. Do me a favor,
dear.
get these people
Aye.
moving, get them to come here.
Oh, hi.
Entirety of the grain stores empty. Salted meats dangerously low. Seeds non-existent. Absolutely barren. There's nothing even to take stock of. Well and truly empty.
You asked them to start saving, months ago, sir. How have we not...
2 months to be exact.
I don't understand. How have we not gained a surplus or anything?
Because there are people who are too concerned with their personal commerce than they are the community. And a lot of the people who are not contributing are outside of the faith. Lady Blackwell has taken note of this.
Leeches, sir.
That's a word for them, aye. Leeches. We're going to address leeches today.
Understood.
I want you to be extra careful on your trips to the manor. Make sure nobody's trying to intercept these missives.
Of course.
People will start to get desperate. They'll look for fingers to point.
I understand.
Well, I'm sure the Regent will see us safe. Well, I'll wait with bated breath then.
Ah,
Mr. Clive, if you could tell the rest of the good folk to come in so we can get this underway, I'd be grateful.
Come on, folks. Closer.
Sir,
There's still some stragglers.
apparently we have some new visitors at the front of the town.
I'm sure they can wait. Right now I need to speak to my people.
Closer, closer. Need to hear the Regent, come on.
Right. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. We all have things to do. We don't have time to be standing around. If you recall, about 2 months ago, I had approached you all, one by one, especially the craftsmen, our rancher, our farmers, our hunters. I tried to make it clear to all of the townsfolk that our stores were empty after last winter. We lost a few good people because we did not have enough food. The winter was especially tough on us all. We live on the frontier. It is unforgiving. And what we have to supply ourselves comes from our own hard work and sweat. People who do not contribute, they are not working, that are not producing, that are not assisting in this production, are not aiding in the betterment of our survival. The Lady Blackwell has taken notice in the decline in our stores because I must send her reports every week. The storehouse, as of today, has one singular bag of grain, several pieces of salted meat, about 6 or so, and we just used the last of our seeds. Now you tell me, does that sound like something we'll survive through next winter with?
No, Mr. Harcourt.
no, my lord.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
We are extremely low on absolutely everything. It is at this point that I have to beseech every last one of you to put aside your interest in personal commerce. I'm not asking you to ruin yourselves. I run your businesses, I barter and trade. But I am asking that 1/8 of what you create, be it grain, meat, bread, herbs, whatever they may be, goes into our communal storehouse. The more that people pitch in, the more work that gets done by idle hands, the more plenty there will be to go around. If this continues, there will be no surviving next winter. I cannot harp on this enough. I expect each and every last one of us to pitch in wherever help is needed. And that every business should be adding to the community storage. Because when you do not have enough during the winter, I'm able to pull from that and make sure that you have what you need to survive. Now please listen to my next words very closely. As it stands right now, I don't even know if we can reach the winter. And if this doesn't turn around, I'm going to have to enact rationing. Do you understand that?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, Mr.
Do you
Harcourt.
all understand what that means?
Yes, my lord.
That you will have
Yes,
to come
Regent.
here, and I will have to tell you who can eat and who can't. And I don't want to fucking do that. So let's avoid that. From here forward, if you need help, reach out to your neighbour. If you need assistance, Reach out to the folks to your left and right. If you need something that you can't procure, you come talk to me and I'll do my best to get it from the Lady Blackwell. Alright? This is a community at the end of the day. We only last as long as all of you last. So, let's ensure that's long and fruitful. For the rest of today, I want every single business to take stock of what they have right now. How far you think you can stretch it. And then we'll focus on production. If any of the craftsmen need something they don't have in their repertoire, you may come to me, and I will try to procure it. Is everyone clear?
Aye.
Clear, Mr.
Aye, sir.
Harcourt.
Yes, my lord.
Understood.
Good. Then I am not worried. Blackwell has stood as long as it has because of the hard-working backs that exist here. The Father watches over us all and ensures that we reap what we sow. So, take this and address it throughout the rest of your day. I expect to hear from the craftsmen by nightfall. There is nothing else. Continue about your day. Go on.
Argus,
Thank you, sir.
as you finish addressing the crowd, and your attention wanders from them, there's two things you notice distinctly. What appears to be a cart, a wagon, with crates on it, placed out near the well, as well as two familiar hooded figures standing at the back by the wall.
Absolutely. That'll be no problem. I'm just waiting for the crowd to clear out so I can make sure that's it.
It's alright.
Lord Regent, may I bother you if I'm...
Absolutely.
Checklist the source.
I was shepherding some people to your estate, and I found 3 travelers coming in from that direction. 2 of them seemed to be over there, and whoever eludes me, but they had garbs that was strange and handmade and similar to mine. They seemed to be travelers. I just thought I'd inform you of their arrival.
If you'd be so kind as to send them my way, I'd be grateful.
I did send them your way, they don't seem to be interested. But I have told
too
them
bad.
to meet up with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That would be appreciated.
Mr. Clive.
We need to work together to help replenish it so we can all survive the
if you would.
winter.
I'll try to make it quick.
He's asking for
Well, thank
at least,
Excuse us.
at least an eighth of what we can. To the
Greetings,
storehouse, at least.
friends.
Hello, Lord Regent, is it?
That is correct.
Hello, good
Regent
morning.
Harcourt.
It's gonna be...
Good morning.
Yeah, of course. Be difficult going forward for a lot of us.
Nomads.
For sure.
From the south.
We'll pull through, though.
Traveling north for the past couple of years.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I see.
it's true.
What news have they?
I want to make sure that you do such good work here. You need your strength too, you know.
Well, once we're stalled with the people, I know
Get one of everything.
Hi, everyone's already gotten bread, and the Regent wouldn't let me give them any.
The hunter, I know him.
And those who are sick have already gotten some. You can ask Jeremy.
Already
Made
been
sure
on a
his
couple.
sister had some bread.
Out there.
So,
And I've already assisted the farmers.
I have been already going through and doing things. Do you need any
Good morning.
assistance at all? Taking things, bringing things around.
Not quite yet today. Honestly,
Well,
if
I
I
haven't
ran out
told
as
us
fast as
about
I
it.
did, wanted to make I had everything to care of my sister and Mr. Harcourt.
Hi. Oh,
Morning,
you
ladies.
might not be eating as well, so maybe add something a little extra hearty to whatever you give
Do you
him.
know where the
Does
hunting
that make
lodge is?
sense? So,
No,
The
it
hunting lodge
does.
is that.
I'll make sure it's a little bit strong for him this morning.
Yes,
Don't
just
worry
outside
about
the town. You can visit. In fact, there's one of the hunters now.
Right.
I have enough places and enough things I must do today. All right. I'll run these back and then I have to head back out. I'm short still supplies.
Yet gotten to work with Amelia.
I would recommend stocking up the best you can. And then make a list of things.
I'm sure
designed
there'll
in
be
a
plenty of
storage
time.
Facility within the walls.
If you'll excuse me, I
You too, Mr. McCord. What about the others?
They're gonna need food, they're gonna need stuff from us, right? Trap.
If you're talking about the trap.
Miss Livingston? Oof, bit of a headache. I was just wondering when you'll be free to make our way to the Manor today, once I find my servant friend.
Unfortunately, Mr. Red Creek is abed this morning, and so I need to go in search of our ingredients. So it may take me some time to be ready. If you are able to wait, I'll probably leave within the hour. Otherwise, if you need to go now, then I do have company that will be joining me if needed.
I will, I'll be around. Find me before we set off.
Of course. I'll see you in a bit then.
Just beginning after all.
Right.
You there, Nathaniel. I don't suppose you've seen the rancher about. We both find ourselves looking for it.
The rancher, no, I haven't seen him today.
Or the farmer.
All right, well, thank you very much. Anyway, and have a blessed day.
Of course.
Have you seen the farmer?
No, I just spoke to those about it. Have you checked the farms yet? It is harvesting season, so they might be pretty busy.
Maybe. That's why I'm asking to help.
You too.
Zoe, thank you for the raid. I'm looking for... Jesus, fuck. It's so laggy. My fucking head. Give me a second. God. My fucking face. Cedric is his name.
By the afternoon, it should be fine.
I suppose I could buy
There's no
a second
true
piece
rush as
for
long as I
myself.
have it today.
Well, I bought one earlier from your assistant.
Anything.
My sister.
Because I don't eat myself either.
Morning.
Just finished going through the storeroom. One bag of grain. And
Mr. Clive?
remaining
Let Mr. Harcourt know. We're going over near the mines.
we have
The where, sorry?
Everything else has been used up. I made it clear to
Mr. Harcourt, now we're heading off to the mines.
Understood.
For the day.
I'll have to enact rationing,
Making early work.
which I don't want to do.
Very good.
It's too early for
What we want to do is provide a storehouse. Let me think. A good number.
If we get lucky,
How about
maybe
this?
we'll be able to find some
Each day we'll try to provide the storehouse one thing of corn to prep ourselves for the winter.
I know that there's some wild
I can relay that for him.
some boar.
I'm sure he will appreciate it.
What will be a problem in the winter? So gathering the corn while people peppered now is all.
Got to think about
I see. I can relay that information to him. I'm sure he will definitely appreciate that.
More than a pitchfork, I'd join.
Thank you kindly, Mr. McCord.
Of course, Mr. Clive.
Not like you'd be much help. You'd scare everything away.
Oh,
Good day.
We could
I will
always
see.
start going.
I'll see if there's any word from these travelers, if there were any other merchants on the road. In fact, Miss Lumen just came back. You would remember her to be one of our wandering travelers. She might know of someone or some place that has livestock. Perhaps we can get some trade going with them. Won't happen today, but we can set something up. Try speaking to her.
yeah, I'll try sweet talking, sure.
You were going to say
Thank you,
something,
Regent.
Miss Brent. Of course.
We can head up into the cliffs, but it's dangerous. We haven't hunted up there yet. At least I haven't.
At some point, I'd like to take a look at your hunting grounds. After you've hunted, so I don't spook anything.
Of course.
No problem.
We have a few interested parties in, the hunters themselves. Thorn, the bard, staying at the inn. And I believe Mr. Whitmore as well.
Lupus.
Learn how to walk faster. That damn bard's gonna join us.
The late summer sun rains down upon you from your right side, warming. You're all right.
The more hunters out there, the better.
Noon approaches, and you know that relatively soon, the Lady Blackwell at her manor will be expecting both you and the tavern cook to do your daily rites.
Agreed.
However,
I don't want no
Regent,
extra
I
baggage.
must say,
Where's that fucking tavern cook?
there are a number of things that we could use to possibly increase our yield.
The largest thing that we're going to be looking over today is the landscaping of the place. Make sure everything's up and tidy to tell Mr. Hardcourt, and the night for a report to make sure that we don't need anything. Although we do have one copper and one iron in our storage.
Good morning.
Good.
So,
Keep
that in mind.
Nathan, yeah.
That's me. I believe I've seen you around, sir.
As much as you can bring me of the copper whenever you can in the cold.
You're a rancher,
Haven't
right?
seen me. It's Edward Soul, yeah. Rancher. How
That's
you
right.
doing?
Doing well. It's good. Summer sun, keeping me warm. Can't complain.
Have you seen the apothecary
And you, sir?
this morning?
All right. Oh, it's been downright fucking awful. But thank you for asking.
They said there were 3.
Awful, you say.
Recognize the new one.
Talking about what they're doing.
Running out of food, Nathan. It's looking mighty fucking bleak.
Well, if everyone pulls
Unless
their
you know what
weight,
some animals are.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Of course.
Oh,
Mr. McCord.
Mr. Clive.
There's a 4th one with them. I don't recognize them. They said there were 3. Let him know.
Of course,
Small
I'm...
town with 4 visitors, huh? That doesn't usually spell good.
Well, desperate times, I suppose. Excuse me, I need to find the tavern cook.
You go ahead, Nate.
That's going to be a problem, ain't it?
We don't want panic. That's the last thing we can do.
I'm being realistic. Not coming to conclusions, mate.
Ah, good morning.
Outside of sharpening people's tools is if I can start forging bullets and master the hunters, that should give them enough to last through the winter for hunting.
Should probably put some of those in storage. That would be something.
Miss Livingston. I don't mean to rush you, but it is getting later on in the day, and if we don't make our appearance to Lady Blackwell soon...
Of course. Let me grab my things and we can be on our way.
Can I assist you in holding anything?
Oh, that's quite alright. Just a few odds and ends.
Of course.
With your complexion.
Yeah, definitely. Just, no, it's not that. It's just like, ours. By the end of it, like, you're quite different. Well,
Yes,
that seems
if you
to
don't
kind of...
mind, I would like to eat my soup at some point.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes, sorry.
Hey, you know what? I'll just take it to go.
You're looking for stew?
I have it. It's just, I think I'll just eat it in my quarters. Is it alright if I bring back the boat?
Yeah, of course. And by the way, tell your sister I said hello, I hope she's...
Yes, I'm sure she'll be very pleased to hear from you, Sophie.
Well,
if you'll excuse me.
Let's go.
You mentioned we may have accompaniment today. Or has that fallen through?
Yes, Miss Fairfax, if she is around, though I do not see her at present.
Don't mind me.
Perhaps we should go anyways. Ezra?
Perhaps. And if I scoot by.
I can help.
Might I ask a favor of you?
Need?
I
You're
had
telling your
a previous
guests?
arrangement with Miss Fairfax, but
Beg your pardon?
unfortunately I must go to the ladies' manor more quickly than expected.
I
If she
did not
stops by looking
realize
for
this
me,
town
let
had
her
so
know.
much wealth.
Okay. Remind me who that was again?
I am but
When
a
was it that you were
humble
blessed?
Miss
servant.
Fairfax, the forester.
Blessed? Ma'am?
Yes, that's right.
Show signs of a lot of road wear. We've been on the road for a long time.
We shall talk again.
Well, I'll make sure to catch if I can.
Match nature.
Sister.
Thank you very much.
Not like what you
What?
see from somebody who came from the civil.
I'd like to at least leave the cart somewhere where we can make sure it doesn't get stolen. If we could please continue.
I was talking
Right,
with
well,
the
enjoy
Lord's
your stay.
bounty,
I won't take up much more of your
and
time.
others have blessed us with a very divine
you take care.
individual in this town.
As they know. He seems overly cautious. Let's go.
Well, we, Nathaniel.
Sorry?
Shall we?
Yeah, of course. It is quite a walk.
Unfortunately, yes. One would think a more direct path could have been made, but perhaps that is the lady's will.
If but only. At the very least, we get our exercise.
Yes, well, I must be on my way. Thank you, guys.
Indeed.
They were that way, were they?
Our health will not suffer.
You say that, but then when winter comes, it's a different story, of course.
Of course.
Wait, you use berries to clean yourself?
Then you don't you?
Strange individuals entering the town today.
If I am lucky, they will eat at the tavern.
Bit of income. Maybe I'll stay. You can offer them a room. The Lord Regent was a little hesitant to be sending us along this long path today. He seemed to be, well, he told us to be careful, which I found strange.
It is not as though we do not regularly make the journey. Is there some difference this time?
He didn't elaborate.
Perhaps the strangers in the woods?
He did ask if he saw anyone, well, if we saw anyone on our journeys, and I told him not really, aside from the odd traveler that ends up in town, but I don't know, he seems a little rattled recently.
It's not often that you end up with outsiders, especially such as the band that arrived in Blackwell. Nathan, you think back to that woman. It was hard to tell under that hood of her, but were those markings on her face?
Strange people indeed.
Well, if they're strange enough, then if we're lucky, they will not remain.
They give me a bad feeling. We don't normally get visitors, especially groups like that. Just seemed a little odd is all.
No, but... The woman's demeanor was a little unusual, but... Was there something else?
Repeat that again? Sorry, I was distracted by a bird.
The woman's demeanor was slightly unusual, but was there something else that was particularly alarming?
Nothing particular, just strange is all. I don't know. I'm used to the town being quite, well, on its own. A large group of people coming through is never, well, not favorable, I guess. Not a fan.
Comings and goings of people I prefer not to concern myself overly much with.
I suppose.
I spend most of my time behind a closed door, so I am perhaps less aware of the regulars.
These walks must do you good then.
Indeed. Though, on days like this, it is something of an inconvenience.
Has to be done, though.
Long walks like these every other day, you've grown used to. Perhaps you've wondered in the past why the lady decides to have her mansion so far away from the town, or the town so far away from her mansion. Perhaps she simply enjoys her isolation. You've heard whispers of the lady being stuck and grieving after the passing of her husband and her son. It's no wonder she keeps herself cooped up all the time.
Do we see her directly, or...?
You do?
Okay. Miss Blackwell's traveled before, recently, out of town and such. I wonder if she'll ever make her way into town. See the townsfolk, at least. I'm sure that will raise spirits.
He had made the journey... What was it? 4 weeks ago?
Did she? I feel like it's strange that a person in charge of a town like this is so away from everything.
Then it is good that we have our Lord Regent to rely on, I suppose.
She must really trust him, I suppose.
That would be a question for her, I suppose.
I'm not bold enough to ask that to her directly.
Nor I to venture a guess.
Alyss, you recall being distracted by watching a deer cross the path in front of you, causing you to lose your footing and slip, falling down the slight cliff off to the right. You got scraped up pretty bad that day.
I've never thought really about it, but what do you make of all the canyons in this area? What is it that causes those?
Oh, that's... depends on what you believe, I guess. I don't know how these things work. I just kind of walk along them. Oh, why do you ask?
Simply an idle thought as we were walking.
We could ask the miners.
When
They
we were...
seem more about stone than anything.
Indeed, I suppose that is true. The wind had howled through... behind the tavern, between it and the farms, as I was walking past this morning, and... just an idle thought. I suppose if it is the design of the Father, then so be it.
Don't suppose he could design a shorter route.
This, I suppose, is the working of men.
True. I definitely prefer it out here than in a large city or town.
The city is... well, I have enjoyed both and neither for various reasons.
I find the city's
The city
suffocating.
has no...
Very close.
But Blackwell is silent in comparison.
I kind of
We
like
have
that.
not but a few travelers to occupy ourselves with thinking about. That and preparations for winter, of course.
It always seems like such a long, far time away, but it sneaks up.
Indeed it does.
What do you make of this food shortage?
We are... there is always food if it is absolutely required. One can make do with very little.
Nathan.
The snows will
You recall you used to hate this last stretch of the trip over to the Manor. When you first picked up this job, you remember, when your legs were weaker, struggling to push a cart all the way up here filled with supplies, only to learn that the lady already had everything she needed at the mansion. That was a dreadful day.
I think I must have some of the strongest legs in this town. The amount of times I've walked up here carrying things. It used to be terrible, but...
I suspect that some of the foresters and others may give you a run for your money there.
That is true.
We at least do not need to carry, well, such heavy things.
I made the mistake of pushing a cart up here all the way once. Never again.
Is that so?
Yeah,
the
I
gate to the
was
Manor
a rookie.
lies open. It always lies open to those who are expected to arrive, and no one ever comes here who is not expected. It never changed. The moment either of you started working here, something about the Manor felt uncomfortable.
Right, let's get
You've
this
spent countless
over with.
hours trying to identify specifically what caused that sense of discomfort. Maybe it was the sheer size of the place. Perhaps it was the feeling of emptiness after her son and husband had passed away, and the grief that lingers with her. You never quite figured out what makes it feel odd to you both, but you do your best to shove it to the back of your mind. After all, you do get a free meal every time you arrive, and that's nothing to shrug at.
Go on.
Oh, there we go.
Apologies, I'm distracted today, it seems.
I will meet you out here, I suppose, when work is done. I'm off to find Lady Blackwell, wherever she is.
I will not be terribly long, I'm sure. Good afternoon, Lady Blackwell.
Lady Blackwell.
Good afternoon. So much chatter. Good evening. Or is it morning?
Coming into midday, ma'am.
The house is so big, I get a little bit turned around sometimes. Nice to see you both again. I trust you're well.
Of course.
Of course.
Fresh air does as well.
And thank you.
Wonderful. The supplies are fresh. Well, as fresh as they can be in the kitchen, and I resupplied the cleaning closet for you, young man.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I will get
I
right to
need
work.
all of these windows taken care of. It has been a while.
I
They've
see.
had a good clean. As well, my office and sitting room need some attention, if you would not mind.
Of course. I also have missives from the Regent about the goings-on of the town. For you to read in your own time. Of course. I'll get started straight away. Of course, as always, call me if you need anything.
Wonderful.
Okay.
No
Cleaning.
matter how many times you dust this place, it always seems to get dustier and dustier.
Cleaning closet. I always get so turned around.
You will also remember the cleaning closet being on through the first door on the opposite end of this hallway.
hello again. Water.
It will be in my manor as often. Bring it there.
Of course. It will be just a few moments.
Young man?
Ma'am? I'm just filling up my bucket, that's all.
Of course.
Don't suppose you have any water to spare, do you?
It should be a 1-and-1 if you need additional. Go ahead, ping again. Just got refill.
It had implied that there was supposed to be meals for us. I don't know. It's not a thing that I was expecting, but...
So additional is enough for 3... Let me confirm.
I think... yeah, I could be mistaken. That was... He just said something.
Servants and cooks get a free meal a day. It's... Well, I know servants definitely do, but...
If I don't, that's perfectly fine. I just don't know how many I'm supposed to make.
I'm also on the lookout for a way to fill up my water. I don't know. Normally.
Normally, if there's a water source, so a well or...
Yeah, I just don't know where that would be. I'll wait for Oak.
I'll check. Give me a moment.
Yeah, take your time.
Thank you.
Should be that. Let me go find you guys one.
I forgot where the water is.
Such desperate writing from the Regent.
Desperate times, Miss Blackwell.
Understandable, and yet it continues to happen. Do you know why it happens?
No, ma'am.
you all succumb to sin, or let those who sin stay around you and continue to perpetrate. That is why the Father does not bless us.
I see. And these,
The Regent asks for help and supplies I cannot give if he is not willing to give what the Father needs.
And the Father is asking to remove these sinners?
Father wants everybody to be pure and just. It is the only way. And yet the Regent has gone soft, allowing beggars and whores.
You're referring to the incident a month or two ago.
I am, and yet nothing has changed. That girl probably would have seen the ways if they would have just gotten her with her punishment, and yet the sour little thing had to make a scene.
I can remind the Regent of the Father's desires and requests, and perhaps things may change for the better.
You are a good boy. I will be writing him a letter for you to take back to him.
Of course.
Tell me, do you like working here?
Well, ma'am, it comes with a free meal and fresh air, and I can't complain. Definitely worked in harder places.
Good to you. You seem attentive. Come here.
Ma'am?
Young boy, I fear the Regent is slipping in his ways. I am supposed to get an updated list from one of the acolytes about the goings-on. I know the Regent's handwriting is not from the acolyte. I request that you go and get a letter from him personally. Bring it back to me tomorrow with the proper list I requested a month ago.
Of course. The acolyte, Andrew? I believe his name is.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes, the devout one. Wonderful.
Anything particular I should ask him to make sure he includes?
He is making a list for me of the heretics and the sinners. We will be making Blackwell our top priority to ensure that we cleanse its streets. It is the only way to get things back in order.
I
We
understand.
have very important people coming back tomorrow.
Oh, probably something that isn't included in that report, ma'am. This morning we had some visitors enter the town. 4 of them, strange individuals from out. It doesn't seem anything particularly...
Visitors?
Yes, ma'am. 4 of them walked in together wearing hoods. I think they had a goat with them. They just seemed a little off, is all.
The trader.
It didn't look like they had
supposed to
items.
meet with the trader. 4 of them.
Yes, ma'am. A little strange, is all. Just figured you should know, of course.
Well, I can only hope that the Regent is keeping Blackwell in order. The letter I am having you take to him explains the visit I will be making. I spoke with a trader a month ago. Perhaps you met him. He stopped by. Apparently he was very thrilled with our small town and wishes to come back.
Was this the one that showed up during the festival, ma'am?
Correct. Yes.
I recall.
Young lady, come.
I hope I am not
What
intruding.
is it you have?
Meat stew.
Oh, no. I don't want meat stew. Bread will do fine.
I see.
Put it on the floor for the dogs.
Certainly, ma'am.
Make yourself and the young man something to eat before you go as well. Don't need you traveling back on an empty stomach.
Your visit you were mentioning, ma'am. The trader was happy with Blackwell.
He was overjoyed. I confess it took me a lot of effort to get him to come and visit. Most people are not interested in our small settlement, especially when they hear how impure it can be. And yet he spoke over the moon of the Regent and the fine people of Blackwell.
Oh, that's good news.
Don't forget the sitting room, young man. It's been some time since I have had guests.
Of course. So you will be taking the trip to Blackwell itself tomorrow as well, ma'am?
I shall. Such a long, peaceful walk.
It is. I'm sure the townsfolk will be pleased to see you.
As I hope, I will be bright and early for church services in the morning. I hope we are still holding them in the morning. This nighttime shenanigans.